Today, I want to bring something powerful into your awareness. It's time to recognize the energy you're giving away to people who don't deserve it. You see, when you let others use you, when you allow their opinions, manipulations, and demands to dictate your actions, you're giving away your power. You are giving away the very essence of your energy to someone else, and it's keeping you from living your highest potential. It's time to stop. You are not here to be a tool in someone else's story. You are here to create your own narrative, to step into the greatest version of yourself. When you allow people to use you, what you're really doing is neglecting your own greatness. You're putting their needs, their drama, their smallness above your limitless potential. But what if you stopped? What if you made a decision today that from this moment on, you will not allow anyone to manipulate, drain, or use you? What if you decided to take back your energy and direct it toward creating the life you truly want to live? When you live in a state of awareness, you begin to see how energy works. Every time you say yes when you mean no, every time you shrink yourself to make someone else comfortable, every time you give without receiving, you are leaking energy. And that energy could be used to create, to heal, to transform. You are far more powerful than you realize. Reclaiming your energy is one of the most powerful things you can do in your journey to personal transformation. Every day we interact with countless people, family members, friends, colleagues, acquaintances, even strangers. Some of these interactions are uplifting and empowering, while others leave us feeling drained, as if a piece of us has been taken away. The truth is, when you allow others to use you, whether consciously or unconsciously, you are giving away one of your most valuable resources, your energy. And without energy, you cannot create. You cannot manifest your desires or step into the life that is truly meant for you. Energy is the currency of the universe. It's the very force that drives everything in your life, your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, and ultimately your destiny. When your energy is directed toward things that uplift you, you're in a state of creation. You're vibrating at a frequency that attracts abundance, joy, fulfillment, and purpose. But when you let others deplete your energy, you're left in a state of survival, feeling empty and exhausted, and far from the person you are meant to be. I think about the times when you've said yes to things you didn't want to do. Maybe it was because you wanted to avoid conflict, or you didn't want to disappoint someone, or perhaps you felt obligated. In those moments, what you were really doing was giving away your power. You were giving away your energy to someone else, to their needs, their desires, and their agenda. Over time, these seemingly small acts of giving away your energy build up, leaving you feeling disconnected from yourself and your purpose. It's not just about saying yes to things you don't want to do. Sometimes it's more subtle. People can drain your energy by always expecting you to be there for them, by relying on you to solve their problems, or by manipulating you into feeling responsible for their happiness. These situations can be emotionally taxing because on some level you know you're being used. You know that your energy is being taken without anything being given in return. But because many of us are conditioned to please others, to be the one who helps, we find it difficult to say no. And in the process, we lose pieces of ourselves. The more you allow this to happen, the more you disconnect from your true self. You start to feel less vibrant, less motivated, less enthusiastic about life. You begin to question your worth because your energy is being used up by people who don't appreciate or value it. You become stuck in a cycle of giving, yet receiving nothing in return. This is how many of us get trapped in patterns of mediocrity, unfulfilling relationships, and jobs that drain our souls. We've given our power away to others without realizing that it's our responsibility to protect it. But what if you decided to stop? What if right now you made a conscious decision to reclaim your energy and redirect it toward yourself and your dreams? It starts with awareness. You need to become aware of the people and situations in your life that are draining you. Ask yourself, am I giving my energy to people who don't value it? Am I allowing myself to be used? Am I putting other people's needs above my own to the point where I feel depleted? Once you become aware, the next step is to set boundaries. Boundaries are essential to protecting your energy. They allow you to say no without guilt and to prioritize your well-being without feeling selfish. Remember, it's not your responsibility to make everyone else happy. Your first responsibility is to yourself, because if you're constantly drained and exhausted, you cannot give to others in a meaningful way. When you set boundaries, you are taking back your power and making a statement to the universe that your energy is valuable. Another key aspect of reclaiming your energy is to stop seeking external validation. Often we allow others to use us because we're seeking their approval. We think that if we say yes, if we help them, if we're always there for them, they will love us, appreciate us, or think we're worthy. But this is an illusion. True self-worth comes from within. It comes from knowing that you are enough just as you are, and you don't need anyone else's approval to validate your existence. When you stop seeking validation from others, you become empowered to make decisions that serve your highest good, rather than decisions that please others at the expense of your own energy. Finally, understand that reclaiming your energy is not a one-time decision, it's a daily practice. Every day, you must make choices that honor your energy, that prioritize your well-being, and that align with the person you are becoming. It may require difficult conversations, letting go of certain relationships, or changing how you spend your time. But the reward is profound. When you reclaim your energy, you step into your true power. You become the creator of your own life, and you free yourself from the limitations others have placed on you. You begin to manifest a reality that is in alignment with your deepest desires, because your energy is no longer being used up by others. It is being directed toward your own growth, expansion, and fulfillment. Reclaim your energy, and you reclaim your life. You are not here to live someone else's story. You are not a side character in another person's life, existing solely to support their journey while neglecting your own. You are here to create your own narrative, to step into your highest potential, and to live a life that is uniquely yours. So often we fall into the trap of conforming to the expectations of others, our family, friends, society, or even our culture, and we begin to shape our lives around what they want for us. But in doing so, we lose sight of who we truly are and the life we are meant to live. Every one of us is born with a unique purpose, a calling that is deeply embedded in our soul. This purpose is the driving force behind everything we are meant to create and experience in this lifetime. Yet too often we allow the influence of others to overshadow that purpose. We become so focused on pleasing others, fitting in, and doing what is expected of us that we forget about the life we were meant to live. We start to believe that living according to someone else's standards is easier, safer, or more comfortable. But what we don't realize is that when we do this, we are sacrificing our own potential. Living someone else's story means constantly putting their needs, dreams, and expectations above your own. It means making choices based on what others want for you rather than what your heart desires. And while it may feel good in the moment to receive approval or avoid conflict, in the long run, this leads to a deep sense of unfulfillment. You may start to feel like you're just going through the motions of life, doing what's expected, but never truly feeling alive or excited about your own path. The joy, passion, and creativity that come from living authentically are replaced by a sense of obligation and routine. When you create your own narrative, however, everything changes. You take back the power to define who you are and what your life will be. You begin to make decisions based on what feels right for you, not based on what others think you should do. This is where real freedom begins, when you stop letting external expectations dictate your actions and start living in alignment with your true self. It's about tuning out the noise of the world around you and tuning into the wisdom that already exists within you. Creating your own narrative requires courage. It's not always easy to go against the grain or disappoint others when they expect you to follow a certain path. But the truth is, you will never reach your full potential if you continue to live according to someone else's script. The life that is meant for you can only be created by you. No one else can tell you how to live your life, because no one else knows your deepest desires, your dreams, or your unique gifts. Think about the stories you've been told about who you should be and what you should do with your life. These stories often come from well-meaning people, parents, teachers, mentors who genuinely want the best for you. But their version of the best may not align with your soul's calling. Just because someone wants you to take a certain path doesn't mean it's the right one for you. You must have the courage to break free from those stories and create your own. This process often begins with self-awareness. You need to take a step back and ask yourself, whose life am I living? Am I making choices because they resonate with my true self, or because they align with what others expect of me? Once you start to question the narrative you've been living, you can begin to rewrite it. This is not about rejecting everything and everyone in your life. It's about making conscious choices that reflect your authentic desires, rather than automatically following the path that has been laid out for you by others. One of the biggest obstacles to creating your own narrative is the fear of disappointing others. We are social beings, and the approval of those we care about often holds significant weight. But here's the thing: you cannot live your life for someone else's approval and still expect to feel fulfilled. You have to be willing to disappoint others sometimes in order to stay true to yourself. And when you do this, you'll find that the right people will support you. The people who truly love you will want to see you happy and fulfilled, even if that means you take a path they didn't expect. Creating your own narrative also means embracing the unknown. When you're living according to someone else's expectations, there's a certain level of predictability and comfort. But when you decide to follow your own path, you're stepping into uncharted territory. This can be scary, but it's also incredibly liberating. You get to decide what success looks like for you. You get to define what makes your life meaningful. And as you step into your own story, you begin to realize that the unknown is not something to fear. It's where your greatest potential lies. In the end, creating your own narrative is about choosing authenticity over conformity. It's about recognizing that you have the power to shape your life in a way that feels true to you. When you stop living for others and start living for yourself, you begin to align with your purpose. You open the door to a life that is rich with meaning, joy, and fulfillment. It may not always be easy, but it is always worth it. Because when you live in alignment with your true self, you become unstoppable. You become the creator of your own destiny, and nothing can hold you back from living the life you were always meant to live. Saying no to manipulation is an essential step in reclaiming your personal power and protecting your energy. Many of us are unaware of how much we allow ourselves to be manipulated by others, often because manipulation is subtle, and we've been conditioned to put others' needs before our own. But when you begin to recognize manipulation for what it is, you can stop the cycle and start living on your terms rather than someone else's. Manipulation takes many forms, and it isn't always obvious. Sometimes it looks like someone consistently asking for your help, making you feel obligated to give, even when it drains you. Other times it's emotional, where someone makes you feel guilty for not doing something they want. They might play on your empathy, making you believe that their happiness, success, or well-being depends on your actions. It can even be as simple as someone expecting you to always be available for them, subtly using your kindness and generosity to serve their own agenda. The danger with manipulation is that it can be so ingrained in our relationships that we don't even notice it's happening. We tell ourselves that being there for others is what good people do, that saying no is selfish, or that we have to meet everyone's expectations to maintain peace. But the truth is, when you allow others to manipulate you, you're giving away your power. You're letting them control your decisions, your energy, and ultimately your life. This not only leads to exhaustion and resentment, but it also prevents you from living authentically. To stop this pattern, you must first become aware of when and how manipulation occurs. Pay attention to how you feel in your interactions with others. Do you often feel obligated to do things you don't want to do? Do you feel guilty when you say no, even when you know it's the right choice for your well-being? Do certain people in your life make you feel responsible for their happiness or success? These are all signs that manipulation may be at play. Once you recognize it, the next step is setting clear boundaries. Boundaries are essential because they define where your responsibility ends and someone else's begins. When you don't have strong boundaries, people will naturally push them, whether they realize it or not. It's not about being rude or cutting people out of your life. It's about protecting your energy and ensuring that you are not being used or manipulated. Setting boundaries can feel uncomfortable, especially if you're used to saying yes to everyone. But it's one of the most empowering things you can do for yourself. It teaches others how to treat you, and more importantly, it shows that you value your own needs and energy. When you set a boundary, you're saying, my well-being matters, and this isn't selfish, it's necessary. You cannot pour from an empty cup. And if you're constantly giving in to others' manipulations, your energy will be depleted, and you won't have anything left to give, not even to yourself. Part of saying no to manipulation is learning to trust yourself and your instincts. Often, when someone tries to manipulate you, you'll feel it in your gut. Something will feel off, even if you can't quite put your finger on it. This is your intuition speaking, warning you that your boundaries are being crossed. Too often, we ignore these feelings, convincing ourselves that we're overreacting or that we need to be more accommodating. But your intuition is a powerful guide, and it's essential to listen to it. If something feels wrong, it probably is. Standing up to manipulation also requires you to release the need for external validation. Many of us are conditioned to seek approval from others, whether it's through being liked, needed, or appreciated. But when you depend on others' validation, you become vulnerable to manipulation. People can use your desire for approval against you, subtly influencing your choices to align with their desires rather than your own. When you let go of the need for validation, you free yourself from this dynamic. You no longer need someone else's approval to feel good about yourself, which makes it easier to say no when something doesn't serve you. A key element of this process is developing self-respect. Focusing on your own greatness means choosing to prioritize your potential growth and fulfillment over everything else. Too often, we spend our lives focused on meeting other people's expectations, fulfilling obligations, and being who the world wants us to be, all while neglecting the brilliance that resides within us. This isn't just about doing more or achieving external success, it's about tapping into your unique gifts, embracing who you are at the core, and living a life that is aligned with your highest purpose. The truth is, every one of us has greatness within. It's the essence of who we are, and it's waiting to be expressed. Yet many of us are disconnected from this greatness because we've spent so much of our lives focused outward on other people's needs, on societal expectations, or on simply getting by. We've been taught to downplay our talents to fit in and to not rock the boat. But in doing so, we suppress the very qualities that make us extraordinary. The greatness you possess is not something that needs to be earned or proven, it's already within you. It's about uncovering it, nurturing it, and allowing it to guide your life. One of the first steps to focusing on your greatness is to stop comparing yourself to others. In today's world, we are constantly bombarded with images of other people's success, accomplishments, and highlight reels. Social media, in particular, creates an environment where we feel the need to measure our worth based on what others are doing or achieving. But comparison is the thief of joy, and it also blinds you to your own unique path. No one else has your combination of experiences, talents, or perspective. Your greatness cannot be compared to someone else's because it's entirely different. When you stop looking outward for validation and start looking within, you can begin to see the value of what you bring to the table. Focusing on your greatness also requires you to take ownership of your life. This means acknowledging that you are the creator of your own reality. Too often we give away our power by blaming external circumstances for why we're not living the life we want. We tell ourselves that we can't pursue our passions because of our job, our responsibilities, or the expectations placed on us by others. But when you take ownership of your life, you realize that you have the power to make different choices. You are not a victim of your circumstances, you are the architect of your destiny. This mindset shift is crucial because it allows you to see that the only thing standing between you and your greatness is your willingness to pursue it. Another key aspect of focusing on your greatness is cultivating a deep sense of self-belief. You must believe in your own potential, even when no one else does. This isn't about arrogance or thinking you're better than anyone else. It's about knowing deep in your core that you are capable of achieving extraordinary things. Self-belief is the foundation of all success because it fuels the persistence and resilience needed to overcome obstacles. When you believe in yourself, you're willing to take risks, to fail, and to keep going even when the path is unclear. Without this belief, it's easy to give up or settle for less than what you're capable of. Focusing on your greatness also means being willing to do the inner work. This involves looking at the beliefs, patterns, and behaviors that have been holding you back and making a conscious effort to change them. Many of us have internalized limiting beliefs that tell us we're not good enough, smart enough, or talented enough to achieve our dreams. These beliefs are often rooted in past experiences or societal conditioning, but they do not define who you are. When you begin to challenge these beliefs and replace them with empowering ones, you unlock new levels of potential within yourself. This process of inner transformation is essential because your outer reality is a reflection of your inner state. If you want to experience greatness in your life, you must first cultivate it within yourself. Another important element of focusing on your greatness is surrounding yourself with people who support and uplift you. The people you spend the most time with have a significant impact on your mindset, energy, and motivation. If you're constantly surrounded by negativity, doubt, or people who don't believe in you, it will be much harder to stay focused on your greatness. Seek out relationships that inspire you, challenge you to grow, and remind you of your potential. These people will act as mirrors, reflecting back the greatness they see in you and encouraging you to keep moving forward, even when the journey gets tough. Focusing on your greatness also means being patient with yourself. Greatness doesn't happen overnight, and the path to living your full potential is not always linear. There will be setbacks, challenges, and moments of doubt. But these are not signs that you should give up. They are opportunities for growth and learning. Each challenge you face is preparing you for the next level of your greatness. Trust the process and give yourself grace along the way. Remember that every step forward, no matter how small, is a step closer to living the life you were meant to live. Finally, focusing on your greatness requires you to take action. It's not enough to recognize your potential, you have to be willing to act on it. This means stepping outside of your comfort zone, pursuing your passions, and putting yourself out there, even when it feels scary. Action is the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. Without action, your dreams remain just that, dreams. But when you take consistent, aligned action toward your goals, you begin to manifest your greatness in the world. When you focus on your greatness, you stop settling for a life of mediocrity. You stop living according to others' expectations and start living in alignment with your true self. This shift not only transforms your life, but it also has a ripple effect on those around you. When you step into your greatness, you give others permission to do the same. You become a beacon of what's possible. And that is one of the most powerful ways you can contribute to the world.